Well, the winds have slowed down, the snow is no longer falling, but we have an amazing panorama going on behind me. What does that mean? It's time to do a pano. Now, most people do a pano. It's a stitch of images horizontally taken across a particular landscape and then taken in Photoshop and created into a large pano. I want to go beyond that basic concept. I want to take it beyond the single horizontal plane and raise the pano to a vertical as well as horizontal plane. That's why I came up with this process of using a PC lens, nodal plate, and a level, along with the photo merge feature in CS3, to bring together in one image everything I'm seeing with my binocular vision. What do I mean by that? We see approximately 180 degrees on the horizontal plane, 93 degrees on the vertical plane. I want to bring all that drama into one image. And look behind me. We have got drama. So what it requires is a number of steps. If you went to Photoshop World in 2006, I sat there and presented all this information. You can find it in the old workbook. You can also find it at moosepeterson.com. But let's go through the steps quickly right now. I have a nodal plate. The nodal plate permits me to rotate this camera on a very specific, what's called a nodal point. That permits me to have a photograph with no distortion at the edges. Very important. I have leveled the top of the tripod. I have leveled the top of the ball head, and I've done that using a spirit level in the camera. This gives me a horizontal and vertical leveling ability. The key to this whole process is the PC lens, because the PC lens allows me to take the bottom panel and the top panel of the pano. All I have to do is when I take my first picture, you can see the lens now is rotated up. Take the bottom one, rotate the lens down. I have set the lens to 7 degrees of perspective correction. That means this lens has been shifted. Before I do that, though, I have to make sure I take an exposure reading, because there's no joints in this lens. When it breaks, there's no way for the camera and the lens to speak. So I do all my metering prior to that. Once I do that, all I have to do is take this camera, rotate it towards my subject, and I'm not doing anything very scientific here. I look in the viewfinder. I do a predetermining rotation of where I want the photograph. My general rule of thumb is 3 of the 6 images by themselves, if they weren't part of the pano, had to be a strong photograph. If that's the case, then I'm going to make the pano. So I'm going to come behind the camera, and I'm going to pre-visualize through the viewfinder my 3 segments. Then when it comes to shooting, all I simply do is we will start my picture. I lock the panning mechanism on the head so it can't rotate. Take the first picture, take the lens, rotate it 180 degrees. That takes my top one, click. Then, again, very unscientifically, I'll look through the viewfinder. I'll find a spot on the right side of the viewfinder, rotate the camera until that spot I see in the left side of the viewfinder. I take the next series. Then, once those up and down shots are taken, rotate the camera one more time for the last set of shots. Now, if you're to be here standing with me shooting, you see I'm actually grabbing from over there to over here in this pano. And oh, this view, look at those clouds, they deserve a pano. Simple technique that I want you to experiment with. It's amazing. And then, as you'll see in a second, when it comes to compiling it in Photoshop, CS3 makes it a snap. You can't help but want to do it. Panos. Got to go back to them. Thanks for stopping by.